Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 27. Now, last time we discovered that the endgame crisis is nigh. We'll soon be facing an unstoppable horde of greenskins, as the orcs and the goblins unite, so I thought it might be a good warm-up to wipe out this pathetic little band of goblin raiders. It'll be a nice, easy start to the episode. And then we can continue on our way looking for undead strongholds to pillage. Now, of course, I did deliberately engage these guys at night. That'll handicap our archers, but more importantly, it will also handicap their ambushers. Because, as we've seen in the past, those guys can get pretty obnoxious. But since it is dark, and we don't have visual, we are going to start advancing on them pretty quickly. And we'll set our shield wall while we're doing so. That way, the ambushers are less likely to land any lucky hits on us. Speaking of whom, there they are now. Okay, this shouldn't be too hard. They've only got 3 skirmishers in their front line. Oh, and they have 1 more skirmisher in their back line with a pike. Really, with the ambushers handicapped by the darkness, that pikeman is probably the only goblin on the field who's much of a threat. Our own archers aren't likely to land any hits, but we're still going to take a few shots just in case. And otherwise, we'll just be steadily advancing on these guys from turn to turn until we make contact. Then hopefully we can chew through them fairly quickly and slaughter the ambushers behind them. Still doing well here. They are, of course, primarily targeting Dominic the shield since he is our lowest level brother on the line. And here come the nets. Alright, we've got 2 brothers pinned down. But hopefully that shouldn't slow us down too much. I'll pass with the archers for the moment. We're most likely going to switch them over to pole arms in a second. And we'll start engaging the goblin skirmishers. They have made the mistake of moving their pole armor right up into their front line, so we'll take him down first. Roderick, engage. Dominic, let's see if you can throw off that net. Very good. Not enough action points left to attack, but still, he did morale damage just engaging. Chiron will rush in. Lands a solid blow, tearing off most of that goblin's armor. And Janos steps up. Swaps out to his hammer, and no contact. And unfortunately, Rondus loses the turn, tearing off that net. Now we can start bringing up the archers, and as we do so, they will each switch off to their pole arms. Alessandro leads the charge with his jagged pike, shearing off that goblin's face. Wojtek steps up behind him, but he's not ready to make a pike attack yet. Ooh, and Potato finishes off the skirmisher. And now we'll bring up Woah, though he won't be able to attack this turn. And Mark will wrap around the other side. Ooh, and he lands a lucky arrow shot, puncturing the lung of the other goblin skirmisher. We'll bring Henry up too, but we're going to set him on his shield since he's exposed to their archers. And round 3. Let's see what those ambushers do. Looks like they're doing a fighting withdrawal, stepping back and firing off wild shots. The goblin skirmisher managed to land a decent hit on Chiron. No serious injury, but he is bleeding. And there we go. Wojtek just finished clearing our front line. Nice. There's a solid shoulder injury doled out by Woah. Henry steps up, swaps back to his standard, and tears off the other goblin's ear. Alright, Casimir, get in there. He moves up, engages both skirmishers, but doesn't hit either of them. Roderick handily dispatches one of the two remaining skirmishers, and engages the other. And then Dominic steps up behind him and fells that skirmisher as well. So at this point, we just need to rush up and see if we can pin down the ambushers before they flee. I suspect we'll have to let one or two of these ambushers go. But given the impending crisis, it's best to kill as many of these guys now as we can. The one goblin pinned down by Chiron is fighting back, but the other two are continuing their withdrawal. We'll hold back with the pikemen, at least for the moment, and we'll focus on moving up our frontliners. There we go. Casimir can engage. And he tears through the ambusher's armor. Chiron plunges his spear through the ambusher's hand, then fells him with a second blow. And now the raiders will once again pursue their fleeing foes. But unfortunately, it does look like they're going to stay one step ahead of us. This might be a good time to bust out the war dogs. I'm just a little hesitant because these are full-strength ambushers with daggers. One or two lucky hits is all it would take for them to finish off one of our war dogs. Yeah, they're right near the exit zone. I guess at this point I need to make up my mind. Am I just going to chase them off, or am I going to release the hounds? You know what? Let's do it. Let's go ahead and loose the pack on these guys. That's one goblin pinned down. And Janos has another dog, of course. There we go. Now they're both pinned down. That will hopefully give the rest of the men enough time to move up and engage. And drop these things before they can hurt the dogs. And speaking of which, Jaeger just lost half his health. Hound's armor turned aside the other goblin's attack. But more importantly, they're both alive, and we can now move up and engage them. Okay, Dominic, let's bring you up. And there we go. Roderick can engage as well. Rhonda steps up and, eager to shed some blood, draws his greatsword and fells one of the last two ambushers, leaving us with just one foe on the field. Now, unfortunately, due to the way maps work now, I don't want to enter any of my mercenaries into those white flag spaces. Those are the exit zones on the map. And unfortunately, the second you move someone there, the game assumes that you're getting ready to retreat, which devastates the morale of your brother. So even though all we're doing here is trying to surround this guy so we can hack him down, The game doesn't know that. The second we step one of our guys into a space there, their morale will tank. Oh, but it's fine if the dogs do it. Alright, there we go. Wojtek doles out the final killing blow. And secures MVP in the process. No level ups. No significant loot. But we've got space to spare, so we'll take it all. Not bad. That was a pretty quick, painless warm-up fight. So let's get back to looking for a good stronghold to raid. And welcome back. Now, unfortunately, we've had to trek out a bit farther than I had originally planned, because the crumbled fortifications was full of goblins and the heap of bones is full of skeletal legionaries, neither of which I really want to deal with. So I guess we're going to try our luck with the abandoned walls. Hopefully this won't be anything too deadly. Otherwise we may have to cut and... Oh, never mind. Looks like we're up against Wiedergangers. That's exactly what we're looking for. With only 13 enemies on the field, this should hopefully be a pretty easy battle, too. We haven't seen any spells go off, so there's almost certainly no necromancer over there. That means, most likely, we are contending with Wiedergangers and possibly a few Geists or Noxerer. But I'm anticipating another quick and easy fight, and this will knock another digit off of our current ambition, which I have recently discovered will apparently reward us with a unique item, so I'm looking forward to that. Alright, archers, start pouring arrows into them. There we go. Wojtek fells our first Wiederganger. And the archers begin their second volley. That heavily armored Wiederganger in the front managed to take all of our arrows. Well, nothing to worry about, just a minor annoyance. We're ready to take these guys on anyway. Also, at this point, I think it's a pretty safe bet to assume that there are Geists hiding back there. Noxerer would have already rushed forward by this point. This is a good opportunity for Goon to unleash the Great Hammer. Only one hit, but a decent amount of damage. Ah, and there's those Geists I was waiting for. Let's just keep pouring it on. Casimir engages, felling one Wiederganger and engaging another. Reinhard leapfrogs him and drops another Wiederganger. Roderick steps up in front of Vlad. And doles out a couple of piercing blows. Chiron shores up our south end, leaving just enough room for Rondus. Alright, now let's see what damage these Geists do. Chiron's almost broken, but that's about it. All things considered, that's not too bad. Let's keep firing arrows into them wherever we can find an opening. Henry will step up and rally the troops. That helped Chiron a little. There we go. Wojtek drops another Wiederganger. Casimir moves up again. Vlad fells another undead foe. And Roderick... Maybe I should leave him on his dagger. If he cuts down this Wiederganger, he can engage the Geists. No, he's better off with the spear for the moment. Reinhard tears up his foe. Chiron finishes cutting down that same Wiederganger, then starts focusing on another. Now Rondis. Rondis steps up, sees an opening for his greatsword, and swings. No kills, but 2 solid hits. And Janos continues flailing away at his foes as well. Now we're at the bottom of the round, and unfortunately those Geists are still up, so... Let's see here. Roderick, Casimir, and Rondis are all almost broken, but not quite broken. Nice. Fox fells 2 Wiedergangers this turn. That actually gives us a good opening to start hacking at those Geists. Still got 2 Wiedergangers blocking us on the north side, but let's risk disengaging with Casimir. Nice. Unfortunately, he's not able to follow through with a hit on the Geist. Henry will move up and continue rallying. Reinhard will lunge forward and engage 1 Geist, but he can't land a hit on it. Vlad will knock 1 of the Wiedergangers out of the way, which allows Roderick to finish off the other. And then Roderick drops 1 of the Geists, leaving us with 2 more to deal with. Chiron will almost certainly drop this Wiederganger, so let's swap him out to the dagger. There we go. And he can step up and take a swing at the Geist, which drops it as well. Very nice. That just leaves us with 1 enemy, and that is the Geist. Unfortunately, we're at the bottom of the round, so no one's going to be able to take an attack on it. Meaning, we'll have to deal with 1 more raised Wiederganger. That's no big deal. Janos is almost broken again, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. There we go. The archers take down the last Wiederganger again, which means that we can drop this Geist at our leisure. Nice job, Casimir. Wojtek is up a level. He hits level 6. And he is also tied with Chiron for MVP with 3 kills. Good work, guys. Wow, that's actually a pretty solid amount of loot there. That's got to be almost 2,000 gold worth of loot. And you know what? Those padded kettle helms are actually an upgrade for some of our troops as well. All in all, that was a pretty solid fight. A nice, easy battle and some solid loot. Plus, we're just 1 stronghold away from finishing our ambition. So, let's keep poking around out here. And welcome back again. Now, I know we're looking for undead strongholds, but we spotted this little orc camp while we were wandering around. It looks like a pretty easy fight, and we do want to cut down as many greenskins as we can before the crisis comes up. I can't say I'm a big fan of this terrain setup, but it's only 8 foes, so we should be fine. Nice, okay, we're off to a good start. That's a grazed neck and an injured shoulder, and death. Alright, we're only facing 7 foes. We're going to hold our ground and let them approach us. There we go, that one just moved up into the open. Or maybe not. There's cover hidden behind that tree. Alright, well, we'll pick shots where we can. Our front line will set up a spear wall to delay them. And hopefully we can finish all these guys off before they do any damage. That is more berserkers than I had anticipated facing. Okay, I think we're pretty much done for the turn, passing everyone else. And round 2. We've got an unarmored berserker coming around on the north. And it looks like the other berserkers are hesitating to engage our front line. That's cute. Well, it gives us some great open shots. There's a pierced hand and a pierced chest. And Bunny finishes him off. And Potato doles out a pierced arm muscle on the other berserker. Reinhard wards off an armored berserker on our center line. And Mark breaks the morale of the other unarmored berserker on our front line. Now, I do need to be aware of the guys coming in on our north. We'll keep our spear line set for now. I'm hoping that elevated terrain will slow them down enough that Woah won't be in any trouble. But let's try to finish off these guys on our center line quickly, then we can wrap around to the north. Okay, that guy just stepped out of sight. I'll have to keep that in mind. Nice, okay. Well, Roderick did get stunned there, but he pierced the orc's face in the process. And Bunny and Fox have almost finished clearing our center line. Alright, there we go. Potato drops the last of the orc berserkers on our center line. Now we can start focusing on the guys on the north. Unfortunately, they've both adopted elevated positions. That does make this harder. In fact, when I get the chance, I'll need to move someone with a shield up there to see if we can displace them. And as long as this guy is on our south, I have to worry about the archers, so we'll just engage him with Rondis. That will keep him back. Nice. Janos doles out a solid blow to the heavily armored berserker. At this point, that heavily armored berserker is the deadliest thing on the field, especially... Oh, right, okay. Potato just got engaged by the other unarmored berserker, so Woah is going to start working on that guy. Very nice. He shears the orc berserker's neck open. And we're going to hedge our bets here. We'll risk unleashing Battle Brother, Woah's dog. I'm a little worried, though. Battle Brother is... Ooh, Battle Brother's really tearing up. Oh! Well, I guess we saw that coming. Battle Brother really did a number on that orc berserker, but then the berserker killed him in one swing. Though, fortunately, that was at least enough of a distraction to prevent him from killing Potato. And Woah promptly avenges his dog. Potato's pretty badly hurt there, though. We're going to need to pull him back. Yeah, poor Battle Brother. That's why I usually prefer to have armored dogs whenever possible. But since we got Battle Brother as part of a special event... Are you serious? He can't bandage himself? Alright, fine. I guess I'll just have to move to one of his allies and they can bandage him next turn. At any rate, because we got Battle Brother through a special event, he was an unarmored dog. Normally I wouldn't bother with those because they're just too fragile. Well, Roderick managed to displace both orcs, but the orc young immediately lunged back up into position. Fortunately, at this point, we've got this well in hand. We've broken the last remaining berserker. That means we just need to contend with the two orc young. Let's just start dogpiling on them wherever possible. Which, at the moment, is pretty much nowhere. There we go. Who got that? That was that Reinhard who got that kill? And Woah breaks the morale on one of the last two orcs remaining. Bunny bandages up Potato's leg. And Henry and Rondis continue wailing away on the orc on our east flank. Man. That orc young on the east. Nicely done. That was Reinhard, who just felled the second to last orc young. Yeah, that orc on our east side, he's doing no appreciable damage because he's just flailing around with a tree club, but he keeps landing stunning hits on Rondis. It's not doing any significant damage, it's just keeping Rondis stun-locked for every turn. So it's keeping us from finishing the fight. We're only delaying the inevitable, orc. And unfortunately, I cannot shoot through that bush. At least Baggins keeps doling out solid hits. That's a shoulder wound there. That'll reduce the orc's already pathetic damage output to 75% of pathetic. And Rondis gets to go. All right, Rondis. Very nicely done. All right, now, unfortunately, Potato's going to be benched for a while with that leg wound. But we've got Reinhard up a level. Well earned. He hits level 6. And he's also tied with Bunny for MVP. And as I suspected, there's no appreciable loot here, though we can use that suspicious meat. And the orc weapons will net us a few hundred gold at least. Well, we've got 5 minutes left on the clock, so let's bag it all up and go looking for one more fight. Well, we're on a greenskin killing spree anyway, so what better way to wrap up the episode than by slaughtering a woefully outnumbered group of goblin hunters. Wolf riders are a bit of a challenge, but I think at this point we're pretty good at handling them, so let's move in and slaughter these guys, and we can call it an episode. Now, of course, they are immediately going to split up as they try to flank us from the north and the south. That will give us ample opportunity to start softening them up with long-range arrow fire, and we'll slowly shuffle our front line around to delay their approach. We've already landed one good hit on that goblin rider on the south. The leg wound will make it a lot easier to deal with him once he gets in close. We're not having much luck with these other guys. They're actually just out of most of our archers' range. Let's go ahead and start shuffling our frontliners. Wolf Riders prefer to flank whenever possible, so you can actually delay their approach by tactically moving your men to cover exposed flanks as they try to get to them. This should be good. Now some of them are going to make a beeline right for that giant open gap in our front line, though. And some of them may continue trying to circle around to our back line here as well. We'll just have to be adaptable, play it by ear, see where they go, and react accordingly. Let's go ahead and set Henry Baggins onto his sword and board. Alright, Raiders, we're about as ready as we're ever going to be. Let's move into round 2 and see where they go. Looks like the riders on the south are continuing to flank. The riders on the north are conflicted. One of them is moving towards our center. The others are continuing to try to flank to the west. So that did buy us another turn. Let's keep peppering them with arrows wherever possible. No luck, though. Not yet. How about you, Fox? Nice. Fox takes out a wolf. But the rider's still alive. Now, Alessandro doesn't really have any good open shots here. Unfortunately, like most goblins, these wolf riders are pretty nimble. Ooh, there's a nice neck wound from Wojtek, though. Okay, everybody hold position. Actually, Roderick, come down a little bit just to provide some cover to Alessandro and Wojtek. And we'll bump Rondus up when his turn comes around as well. Yeah, I think this will do. It is getting a little dicey now. They've almost completely surrounded us. Alright, round 3. Where are they going? That skirmisher, enraged by the death of his wolf, is suicidally charging us. And the goblins on the south flank have reversed course. The goblins on the north flank are engaging. Alright, we've engaged with most of the goblins. Let's lay into them. Henry is unable to make contact. Fox and Bunny open fire. Bunny manages to drop the skirmisher who's stuck on foot. Alessandro carefully takes aim, but is unable to land a shot. Vlad is unable to land a hit. And Wojtek takes aim at the one unengaged Wolf Rider, taking off his ear with a well-placed arrow. And now I got switches off to the War Brand. Finally time to break that thing in. Now the War Brand is basically a weaker version of the Greatsword, but as you just saw, it's light enough that you can take 2 swings with it per round. That is pretty incredible. Only 75% of the damage output of the Greatsword, but the same versatility with area attacks, and the added bonus of twice as many attacks per round. I'm definitely going to have to invest in more War Brands. And while I was busy yammering about War Brands, we whittled down at the Goblin Rider on our south side, and Chiron stepped in and finished off the Wolf and Rider both. We've also broken the other Wolf Rider on our south side, so Rondus will start heading north. And he drops another wolf with his dagger, followed shortly by its rider. Okay, that just leaves us with 3 Wolf Riders, one of whom is broken. Janos doesn't have any luck with his Great Hammer, but I think we're sitting pretty at this point. Osvold's taking a little bit of a beating. So is Janos, but their armor's holding up. For now, the archers will focus on trying to take out this broken Wolf Rider before he can flee. There's a solid arm wound. And on the north side, we'll continue beating on these guys. Vlad slices open one of the riders' faces. Ooh, and Osvold lays down the hurt, taking out another rider. There we go. Fox manages to take out both the rider and the wolf on our south side. Ooh, okay, well, I forgot there was a wolf on I got. He just turns around and finishes it off when it delays his advance. And then he plunges his dagger into the other rider's thigh, which sets him up for an easy kill from Roderick. Nicely done, boys. Great way to round out the episode. Looks like Fox pulls MVP with 3 kills. No level ups, no significant loot, but that's, actually that's still a few hundred gold worth of loot, so I can't complain. We are going to have to play some inventory Tetris, but we'll take care of that off screen, and I'll see you next time. Hey, RetconRaider here. Another nice smooth session for the Raiders today. We didn't manage to finish our ambition, but we did get a lot of practice taking out greenskins. So at least we're taking steps towards preparing for that impending horde. We also got a chance to break in our new War Brand today, and while it wasn't as dramatically effective as the Greatsword or Great Hammer, I was still pretty impressed with its performance. I'll be keeping an eye out for more of those in the future, since I think they're a good fit for some of our frontliners with lower stamina. We did also manage to get a couple of helmet upgrades, but of course that's not nearly as exciting as trying out the War Brand. We also got a chance to break in Dominic the Shield, and he's off to a pretty good start. A lot of our rookies get badly mauled in their first couple of fights, or in some cases they get killed. But Dominic's already 2 fights in, and he's still going strong. Hopefully we'll be able to get him up to a decent level before the Horde arrives. Obviously, next time we'll be focused on trying to find one more undead stronghold to raid. I do want to get back to more lucrative contracts, but we need to get this ambition taken care of. Completing ambitions is a big part of the game because it's one of the main ways you boost your company's renown, and it also helps with keeping your squad's morale up. And as always, I'm still hoping that someday we'll finally raid a stronghold and discover one of those elusive named items. We'll find one someday. I just hope that when we finally do, it ends up being something we actually have a use for. Battle Brothers can be a cruel and fickle game, so knowing my luck, we might just end up with legendary padded armor or something. At any rate, I'd better get back to scouring the countryside for more targets of opportunity. This is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.